Bat scratch fever. Bat scratch fever. I wonder if Ted Nugent could shoot one of them out of the sky with one of his bow and arrows. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see that. Anyway, I just couldn't resist to remix this whole situation right here with this freaking with the bat scratch fever. I mean, dude, that does not look delicious. That definitely looks suspicious and probably not very nutritious. Like, I'm sure you'll probably get, some enzymes and proteins and shit out of that. But, I mean, what is that flavor going to be like, man? Oh my God. I'm not even going to mention what I'm thinking, but this is a perfect example of, a red herring scapegoat. And this is equivalent to the dogs ate my homework. And once again, it goes back to show you the really juvenile toddler mentality of these people, where, look, nothing is sacred. They will say whatever they need to say to spin the narrative so you'll comply. I mean, I'm sure this thing right here, that's going to give you more than heartburn and indigestion. I'd imagine, for surely, I'm sure that's not very good for your health, and it's probably high risk. I mean, but did you know, over in the Japan, it used to be in vogue to eat sushi, and there was a certain kind of freaking blowfish they would get, and it literally has a toxin in it that if you just cut it ever so wrong, that it could kill you. But what was crazy about it is, look, I read this in in the Serpent in the Rainbow, where the dude was studying about it, so he's doing a case file because it was part of the zombie medical concoction. It was basically a poisonous toad and a poisonous snake. They would tie them together inside of a bag, so these guys would have a poison orgy, and they would crush that up into a powder, and they would mix it with that poison from that fish, that blowfish, and they'd actually dig up a corpse and crush the bones up and mix this powder in with the bones from the corpse. Anyway, look, this is some real mystical, real, backwoods, deep jungle-ish type sorcery. That's real stuff. I don't know who taught them how to do that or how they figured this out, but look, it's not an easy or simple process. It's for being a peasant, feudalist farmer, high technology, man. It's it took some ingenuity. But anyway, while the dude was studying the effects of that fish toxin, he was reading these stories about, in the 1700s or 1600s, whenever this was in vogue in Japan. It'd be like, oh, you're afraid to eat the sushi? You are a coward and you are no samurai. So the dude would be forced to eat the frickin'... That's an excellent way to take somebody out, might I add, which is to challenge someone to a public manhood, machismo duel of, here, let's see who can eat the most of this raw sushi of this poisonous fish that you need a master swordsman to cut correctly, a master butcher chef. But anyway, so if someone got this toxin from the fish inside of them, they would go into a coma, and literally, in a week, they would come busting out of their coffin. Because think about it. It's look, when you're in that kind of a coma, literally all your systems are stopped, halted. So your metabolism's going to stop. since your breathing's going to slow so small, you can survive off less oxygen. And it's the signal, your life force signal, it turns down the amplitude to the point where it's almost extinguished, but somehow it remains there in that state. And then the body, the metabolism turns back on, the system functioning start to freaking turn back on, and these frickers literally were climbing out of the freaking graves. Interesting story. But anyway, this bat scratch fever thing is a excellent example of a blame shift and of just a bold-faced lie. The dogs ate the homework. Those folks from the other side of town are the ones who stole your purse, lady. You know what I'm saying? Those other colored people from the other side of town, they must have stole your purse. Oh yeah. I'll pick you up something on my way back from the liquor store. Wait, didn't you say you didn't have any money? Uh, 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 uh. Yeah, but a friend did me a favor. You know what I mean? Yeah. Good luck to you, miss. Anyway, it's like the fact of the matter is the document of the lockstep was wrote in 2010. These movies of Outbreak, that was like what, 95 or 89, 91, 92, 93, something like that. Look, this has been in the works for a long time. Look, how did a laboratory-made virus get inside of somebody's bat soup? Oh, yeah, it's like this. I mean, even if it's like, look, this isn't a grassroots thing. This is a lab experiment gone wrong. But it just blaming it on bats is just a scapegoat. I mean, look, they had swine flu, bird flu, pig flu. Look, they've had all these operations where they've already done this before. This isn't nothing new. It's not like this isn't the new normal. They've been doing it for like 20, 30 freaking years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this particular modern method of the animal-induced flus. But, I mean, dude, listen. They're injecting people with animal... The first vaccine, the word vaccine comes from cow because they poisoned cows with the disease and then shot that cow's blood into a human, basically. Something to that effect. And so it's strange. Like, what is it? Is it the diseases from these animals that are killing us? So why are you using their fluids inside of vaccinations? Like, literally, this is historically documented. It's not a lie. It's not a joke. It's literally like some meth cook. They've hired the meth cooks down at the vaccine industry, it would seem. And they sprinkle a little bit of this and a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little booger in there, a little dandruff. Let me scratch down inside my pants real quick with no gloves on, and let me work with this lab material type of stuff is going on. You know what I'm saying? And they're scapegoating the bats, the bat scratch fever. When no, dude, the same dude who wants to protect the whole planet with his jab owned the patent on this stuff from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, look, how is it possible that this is just some kind of like just natural thing? And then instead of us being punished for it, why aren't the people who are in charge of making sure this stuff stays where it's supposed to stay and not get out here, why aren't they on lockdown? Why aren't they isolated? And why aren't we free to, look, do what we want to do with our own body? We ain't going out of our way to harm anybody. That's just your blame shifting. Look, y'all did it. Your patents did it. Your pandemics, your pre-thought out think tank and well documented Agenda 21. And look, it's about to be Agenda 21, and it's looking a lot like communist. It's looking like the USSA. Oh, every day, yeah. I'm back in the USSA. You know what I'm talking about? You know, and I mean, it's like every country in the world. You can just go ahead and add a SS in the middle of their the USSK. Well, Australia, it's Australia. You know what I'm saying? Look, let me think of another one. Germanzy. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Greece with two S's instead of a C. You know what I'm talking about, buddies? I mean, does anyone concur? Are you feeling it, or am I just like dangling weight out on this limb for no reason? You know what I'm saying? I mean, frick it. You guys throw caution to the wind. Who cares if I dangle way out on the limb like a frickin' like bat scratch fever? Look, he's got bat scratch fever. He has no fear. And our lies don't work on him. That's a symptom of the bat scratch fever, is that your lies are ever so obvious now. And your shenanigans, and you're just straight up, look, you're straight up psyops. I mean, look, you're straight up propaganda. You know what I'm saying? You're straight up Kung Flu Panda. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm about sick of getting used and abused. And literally, listen, this psyop, this is to win your hearts and mind. The metaphor of the vampire is Dracula can come to your window and he can tell the woman, like, look, if you was to have any superpower in the world, wouldn't it be Dracula? Because you could just tell any woman that you like, you could just say, come, and they just are compelled to do your will. That is the occult, demonic version of an MK Ultra scientist. Instead, this guy, he really puts the work in on you with the fear and the trauma and the psychic driving and the and the sexual abuse and all that. And now they literally say your name, your government name, and then you start taking your clothes off. This is the type of stuff that we're dealing with here. Dracula also is a bloodsucker. He steals your life. These people are trying to take our lives and depopulate the planet, and look, and to give us infertility. This is Georgia Guidestones. I didn't say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not making this up. They're saying it. They've said it. Like all the major wealthy elitist types have said it. All of them. I mean, I'm not going to go through it and be ridiculous and that redundant about it. I don't have to. You guys have already done it yourselves. Like Little George said, you got to really you really got to repeat it to get the truth to sink in. I mean, hey, good advice, George. I took that advice and cashed that shit into the bank. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well said. Anyway, the vamp. Also, an energy vampire is a person who keeps raining on your parade. They make your life difficult. It's in a way, it's like because they're mediocre, man. They're mediocrity. They're in this micromanagerial position. All they do is watch and look for what everyone else is doing. In some way, they can intercede, while they themselves don't even conduct themselves very superior. Look, and there's many examples of these people's like blatant character flaws. This isn't a character assassination here. I'm just saying, listen, you got to own your flaws. Listen, I have many flaws. I'm a pretty jacked up dude. I've been through a lot. But look, I'm hanging in there. So far, so good. Actually, it's not so bad. I mean, look, yeah, sometimes stuff really sucks. Sometimes, man, stuff is really awesome. And sometimes things really are sucking so bad because you're not making the best out of it. And the reason why things ain't awesome is because you ain't trying to make them awesome. You know what I mean? You're afraid, your fear of the bat scratch fever, like stifles your growth, your true potentialities. And listen, as a human being, I would wish that every person lived up to their greatest potential of what is the goodness is what they have in there, and learn how to overcome our flaws. Okay? Humans are flawed. So is all the science. So is all the records. So is everything. To an extent. In other words, it's like this. We don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. But when the bathwater gets dirty and it gets cold and it gets ugly, it's okay to let it drain out. Drain the swamp, so to speak. Other words, like that, there's that when your government becomes oppressive and tyrannical, it says that it's your duty to cast off such a government. It's our right. It's not illegal. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not insane. I'm actually using the same legal and science, the legals and sciences that they are. It's just I'm doing it freelance. I'm doing it sovereign style, which means, listen, it's up to me to do my own research and make sure someone isn't trying to get over on me. In this world, you can't trust anybody without letting them earn it. Look, that's anybody, a professional even, dude. Professionals are some of the biggest con men ripoffs in the world. They don't have to be the criminal who dons the ski mask and the gun. They just use a disguise, a gray man disguise, a lab coat, oil change guy's suit. Though, like those guys who stand out on the side of the roads with with those reflecting jackets, like a suit and a briefcase. Look, that guy, that gangsta thug dude looking like Eazy-E, they're going to see him coming up in the mile away, getting into the bank. Especially, if he's got his AK brandished across his chest, and he's just telegraphing that he means business. But you could take that same guy, put him in a business suit and a briefcase, and he can walk right on up there and nobody's going to suspect anything. And he could just pass these people a note and say, yeah, I got my action in the briefcase, and just put the money in the bag. Look, just if nobody, just no one's going to get hurt if you just do what I say. Look, that man, the second man, is more likely than frickin' Thug Life, Super Thug, Eazy-E on PCP, walking in fully locked and loaded, ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? Freaking and desperate and blasted out of his mind. Okay, bat shizzle, smoking the bat shizzle insane. Anyway, it seems what we don't have going on here is bat scratch fever. It seems like some people in authority have been smoking a lot of bat shizzle. And it seems they've had, they got carried away. They became a legend in their own mind. And they really thought like someone died and they became the center of the universe. So, and it's obvious, dude, in your vernacular, in your articulations. Your articulations are totally like dismissive, as if we're defective, we wouldn't understand it. So just let these con men do the thinking for us, because look, they have our best interest in mind. And it's historically proven that these guys are just their record is so squeaky clean, ain't it? Anyway, if you bat scratch the surface You know what I'm saying? And go a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't fear the fever and the reaper, you know what I'm saying? And you become a leader, not a micromanager. A leader means, it doesn't mean I'm going to go lead an army. It means I'm going to conquer my own thoughts and my own feelings. I'm going to work at making sure I don't get spooked. I don't get startled. I don't get my emotional heartstrings pulled so someone gets me, conscripts me to be their flying monkey in a false cause. Okay, buddy? That's all of our jobs. There is no excuse. Just because someone says jump off a bridge. Should you do it? I mean, since these people are so juvenile, do we have to go back to juvenile, infantile type of cliche, okay? I mean, if we have to, we can do that for the sake of these children trapped in adult skin and bone. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, yeah, don't worry. I don't go out and try to exterminate the bats or anything, but yeah, just keep your distance. These things are rodents, and they're known to transmit sicknesses. But these things have been around forever, and I'd imagine the Asians have probably been eating bats since the beginning of time, okay? And look, so far so good. I mean, look, doesn't look pleasant to me. It's nothing I'll be trying anytime soon. It's not on my bucket list, but I don't really know. For me to say, oh, you're going to die if you eat that, or you're going to catch the convid or anything. Look, that's just ignorance talking. That's just my imagination. I don't really know. It's PFR, pending further research on the bat scratch fever. But look, yeah, bats give rabies and like narcolepsy and all these other kind of weird sicknesses, blood sicknesses, brain meningitis. So look, this is known, but this stuff's been around all the time, and we've never had a 2020 event. So look, dude, somebody is withholding some information, and somebody is also not withholding the mis and disinformation. Anyway, take care, y'all. Much love. Hopefully, God willing, we'll have many more discussions and observations together. All right?